The elf jumped towards me, when I was covered by my commander-in-chief Igris, next to the captain's corpse, and at that moment, I ordered the captain who was dead to get up. I was finally able to get the shadow of Captain Kim, the tank, so I managed to get a companion strong. He is much bigger than before, and he is much stronger. Now I just have to choose a name for him. After thinking about it, I decided to call him Iron, the new knight in my ranks. Then the elf. He started to tell me to stop because he doesn't believe that that guy could stop him on his own. But of course I know, and I ordered Iron to use his intimidating scream ability. At this point, the elf started to turn his attention to Iron. The elf started saying that another strange guy had appeared and that I was going to start with him. The elf started to attack him, but Iron managed to block his attacks with his shield. When Iron hit, the elf was able to quickly dodge him. He couldn't hit him because he was big and very slow. However, the elf didn't know that we were 3 opponents against him. And that the 3 of us could definitely defeat him. The girls from the hunting group were surprised to see the fight. They talked about how if that is the way hunters have to fight, it would be difficult to get a license. After all, they had never seen anything like this before, and it seemed to them that they were seeing a dream. Igris lunged at him with his sword, and he dodged the attack, and at that moment I was behind the elf and was able to wound him. The effects of my dagger's paralysis were applied to him. Even if he could have dodged a fatal blow in his state, he wouldn't. The 3 of us were able to handle the situation against him. After wounding him, the elf calmed down a bit and started telling us in a calm tone that we were a bunch of trash at this point. The statistics showed me that my opponent's resistance was too high, and the paralysis effect of my attack was deflected. I knew that he was not in a position to say such things, so I told him to look around. He turned around and saw that all his soldiers had been destroyed by my shadow monsters. I didn't think that was all his elves were capable of doing in the dungeon. The elf was angry that they had destroyed his soldiers and immediately rushed into battle because he knew that if he defeated me, he would get rid of all my shadow soldiers. However, as soon as I saw him running towards me, I threw my dagger at him, but the elf was taken aback by this action and started laughing, saying that I was throwing my dagger like an idiot. But he didn't know that I had an ability that allowed me to control and accelerate my gun. The dagger flew and spun several times, and once the dagger accelerated, I was able to get past his defenses, at which point Iron was able to sneak up and grab him. The boss had nowhere to run. My mages behind me started casting a fire spell, causing an explosion. After the explosion, only Iron's shadow was visible. The elf came out of that shadow and started shouting that we are bastards and that he was going to kill us all. He was terribly angry and ready to attack us. But at some point I appeared in front, causing a wound in his side without noticing my presence, all thanks to my stealth ability that makes me invisible to the enemy. I told him that it seems that this was his end. But the elf couldn't just give up. He grabbed my arm and asked me upset, "Who do you think you are facing?" But behind him, Iron attacked him, delivering a crushing blow which happened exactly as he had predicted. The battle is over. The elf was destroyed. We can finally breathe. I finally managed to defeat the boss of the dungeon, and my level went up. I was happy that it was finally over. Suddenly, Iron began to mercilessly finish off the elf's lifeless body. As if Iron had lost his mind, although he had become a shadow, he was still the same bully as before. As soon as I asked him to stop and calm down, I took a step back, and I asked myself what would happen next in the future with Iron. Then I walked away from him, and Iron looked at Igris, but Igris looked at him. Curiously then, Igris lowered his head and walked away, but when Iron turned around, there were 2 more shadows behind him. He raised his hands and shouted with them. Me, at that moment, I told my group to go back, but they were surprised after all. They didn't think that we were going to start walking home now. At that moment, a portal appeared next to us. I showed everyone that it was a portal to the outside. They were very excited to finally be able to return home, but I still had things to do with this corpse. It was time to